Hello everyone. Welcome to another session, and we are going to be discussing a need request. This is the concluding part, or let me say part 2 of the initial video that was made on need request for people period group of company. This is a custom screen made for that particular purpose. I never thought there was going to be a need for this, but we made some kind of enhancement on it so that it is meaningful to the users. So this aspect, before I proceed, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Olumide Haino. I am your ERP consultant. So why did we create this enhancement? Like in the previous video, so for those of us that have not watched the previous video, I think if you look around this video, you should see a link to that. So I think it's better you go and watch that first before watching this. Now, the previous one talked about payment voucher when a need request is made to a payment voucher, but this is going to be a need request that does not involve a payment voucher. So this also does not have any financial impact. Does not have any financial impact. Does not have a stock management impact as well. So it's not going to update your stock. It's not. No. This is more like a memo. This is more like I'm writing a note to maybe my superior for approval. So it's just a custom that is being made on it, though this can actually be used as a reference to a financial transaction or for any activity. So for instance, the major reason why we created it was as a result of major procurement that is being done, and we might want to reference the need request that was raised for that particular purpose. Or another reason why it was created, it's for us to be able to start the activity or the process from the system and also concluding it with the system. So that is just the essence. So I'll just go straight into the activity. Now, what do? Like we all know, we click on add need request. We've been able to explain all these fields, but the only field I'm going to explain, which is not in the first video, is this. On the first video, there's something here called need type, which allows us to select our payment voucher. But if you notice, if I select payment voucher at this point, just watch something. Look at this note. If I select payment voucher, it means that note disappears, which means this document can actually be categorized into two things. It can actually be used as a note as a request, or it can be used as a payment voucher for our request. So we are going to choose the blank option, so that it gives us the opportunity to choose note. If we don't have this note, we will not be able to proceed. You understand? So by clicking, so I'll just pick date. Let me just say I pick date. That's the date of the transaction when the request is actually being made, and the time it is being made, the cost center it belongs. So I've been able to explain all this, so I'm not going to go into details. So I just select note. So at this point, when I select note, you see that when I select note is here already, is indicated here, but by the time I click on it, this need type disappears and it brings note type. Please take note of that. So if I tick this, note type appears. So now note type also have options. And what are the kind of options? Like I told you, I said this document is more like you writing a memo. This is more like you writing a document to your superior requesting for something. You understand? Definitely is official. It's something relating to the organization. So it can be, it can also be fuel, but you don't want it to affect, you don't want it to affect the stock. You understand? You don't want it to affect the stock, but you want to use it as a reference to the stock transaction that is going to be raised concerning that. So we just want something that will be flexible so that people will be able to relate to it, people will be able to understand better. So that was why this enhancement was done, for that purpose. So we don't want situation whereby there will be different documents. We want to use a single document for the need request. So if it is note, then let's identify that it's note. Then when it is being used, then we will now move there. So for example, there are situations whereby the store guy would have to request, let's say maybe fuel for car, and he needs to do it directly to the FC. You understand? Who is the financial controller. So in that regard, so these are more like the management. This is more like to the department that are actually involved. So we have the finance, we have the admin, we have the HR, we have the facility, then we have procurement. I'm going to come back to this procurement. The procurement is a little bit different, but we are going to. So what does the note to finance do? So by the time I choose note to finance, every function is the same to this aspect, to the facility. But when I choose finance, it only means that whatever I'm writing here will be sent to finance or the financial controller, who is the head, directly. That's what it means. So if I'm sending any documents, if I'm raising any request, it is going to the financial controller directly. And if I'm sending anything relating to admin, now this is going directly to the admin manager, not GM admin. This is going directly to the admin manager. You understand? So that is this for this. The same thing with HR. So the head of HR would have this, which is the HR manager. It goes that, then facility manager as well, like that. So let's just use example. Let's say even the HR, yeah, what aspect of activity can happen? It can be like an employee is trying to request for his pay slip for maybe last month, maybe didn't get it. He can actually use this document for it. So these are the things I'm trying to talk about. It doesn't have to be financial alone. It doesn't have to be stock alone. But as long as it's not going to affect your financials, and you also want to use it as a reference to some of the financial activities. So for instance, for this major procurement as well will not affect your inventory, will not affect your financials in any form, but it is compulsory because it's going to be a mandatory field when you are raising your purchase invoice. When we get to that aspect, you will also understand better, but let's just move on gradually. So for notes to finance, let's say I'm the store guy, so I don't need this. I'm not raising it on behalf of anybody. Now, purpose, is it administrative? Is it projects? Is it administrative? Is it project? So I need to select any of them. So let's say this is actually for administrative. Now, at this point, I can just say, oh, we need 50. Let's say, I don't know. Let's say 300 liters of fuel for estate. I'm just giving this as an example. Okay, since this is to FC, right? Okay, I can just say, okay, I can say, I don't know if it's FC, but let me just say, let's say this, I don't know, it can be any of them. Let me just say finance. or for vehicles, for Hilux, whatever. So it's just I can, if I decide to format these as well, I can decide to format these, give it different sizes. Let me just use this. I know we didn't talk about this the last time. This is just extra thing. I'm not supposed to do all this, but I'm just giving example of this. So now we need 300 liters of fuel for Elox. Just giving an example to that. Then I just click on save. Remember, I am what's it called? I'm a store guy. I'm just a random person that normally I'm supposed to go and meet the FC for this purpose. I'm supposed to walk up to the FC and tell the FC, or I'm supposed to write a note to the FC and give the FC that. But in this regard, instead of you doing that, you can as well use the system to do that. So I just write that, then I say, and I just request approval. I just say make request to FC. Because I have selected FC here, that is the only reason why you can see. So if this is for another person, let's say this is admin. So if I click on admin, for instance, now, because I changed that. That's another thing I need to look at. Oh, sorry, hold on. Okay, to continue this, I actually realized that I was able to change some field even when the document has been pushed for approval. So I noticed something, so I had to just quickly go and amend it because it might cause the issue in future. So these are the kind of announcements we see, and we just try to quickly modify. So as I was saying, so it depends if this particular activity is for the finance. I'll just click on note to finance, then give the description and all that. Then I just click on make request to FC. You can see that this does not involve payment. It does not involve anything. It just said we need this. So if this is available, the FC, okay, let's just say, okay, let's just move on. We need 300 liters of fuel for Elox. I can just say make request to FC. Now, after making this request, you can see, okay, now I cannot modify this notes to finance. I can modify, you understand? So that these are the things I had to change before coming back. Now, after doing that, I just click on approves. Now, me as the FC now would have to approve. I just said approve. Okay, before I approve, I can give comment on this. You can just give comment on this. I can say, let me say I tag a user at. So if you want to tag a user, you just put the user at, then the user name there. If you type it, or let me say, for instance, let's say, you can see. So as long as that user is created on the system, you can always tag the person. I can just say Olumide. So that person sees it as a notification. I can tag as many people as possible so that they can act on that document. I can just say hard. Okay. Kindly provide as stated in this document. Yes, I'll just write that alone. So, and I just say comment and push that comment out. So this people will get a notification based on that. Or you come to this aspect to assign it to, you just assign it to maybe one of the users and all that, so it becomes a tax for them also at that end. You can assign, or you can also share with people you on the system as well. So that's just for me to just write that, and when I'm done, I'm okay. Then I just click on approve. So you can now see, okay, another thing that we need to work on is this PV approved by FC. So this is not actually supposed to be PV approved by FC. It's not PV. So this is not PV approved by FC. Is it just approved by FC, or we should need request approved by FC? So that can actually be looked at, so that we don't have confusion on the system. So what else? That's all regarding this. The same thing too goes to, let's say I am making let's say I'm making a copy of this. Let's say I duplicate this and I just make a copy of this to, let's say this time around, just giving an example. So let's say admin as well. I'm sending this to admin. It's this administrator. So if this particular thing involves a project, which means I can just take this as a project, then pick the project that is. But for this, I'll just make it, I can use the same description. For example, I'll just say save this and say, now you can see make request to admin manager. I'll just click this. So you understand. So all this is available. So I don't know if we can just okay, we can just leave that. So the same thing too, if you have any comments on it, you can make those comments and also click here and say approve. So you can see admin manager approved it. So that's just all. There's nothing else again on this particular document. There's nothing else here regarding those kind of notes to admin, finance. So these are direct line managers. I'm sending direct line to request to. I'm sending a direct request to the line managers. So at this point, but if it's going to involve sending to the general managers, you understand? So they don't. No process was created for this. No workflow was created for this, except major procurement. So when it comes to major procurement, that is when they should be involved. So let's say I'm making this, I'll just say this hard need request and just give a date, give a time, then just say need type. So at this point, okay, sorry, I select notes, then I select need type to be major procurement. I enter major procurement. Now, if it's going to be for project manager, if it's going to be for GM projects, or if this particular procurement is for projects, it's project related, I click on project, then it will allow me to select the project. Let's say I select this project. This is a Kanapu or something like that. Okay, this is okay. Let's just choose a Jalputa. Then I can say we need 3 tons of sand, just to give an example. Okay, so then I just say what else. If I want to highlight this to be bold, I can highlight it just like I've said earlier. This is just to make it bigger. I'll just say this time I'm changing the color to, let's say, red, just to indicate nothing much about that. So if all things being equal, I can just save this Then I click here also to say procurement request. So because I have selected, so this also, I think we need to just grade this out as well. This also, I'm going to do something about this also. So this as well. So all I just need to do is just to say procurement request. You understand? So procurement request. So if I say procurement request now, so because I have selected it that it is to okay, this is fine. So because I have selected it that this is to project, you can see that is why it's awaiting GM project approval. So let's say this was actually returned. Let's say it was returned and we want to capture it again. Let's say this is to administrative. You understand what I did? I just returned the document to the initial stage. Then I click on save. Then I just say procurement request. You can see this is awaiting GM admin approval. You can see just because of what was selected here. You understand? So let me so if it's going to be to GM project, it means that it's going to come here. Okay, let me just finish this. If it is administrative, it will just go to GM project alone. GM admin approval. It will request for GM admin approval. Then I can click here and say approve for procurement. So this is when it's sent to the procurement officer to go and do market research and come back and write whatever thing he has found out. So he can always write whatever thing here or make a comment here and all that. So all things being equal, if he is satisfied with it, you just say awaiting market review. Then okay, so this is so you need to tell the stakeholders, those that are involved in this particular document, the status of the document or the status of the process. So you need to say initiate market review, so that we can know that, oh, okay, market review is in progress. Is going around to do his research and all that, to find out the best price and all that. So this is just to indicate that, and it is just the same document. And if all things being equal, I can just say this and say, if all things being equal, that is, he has gone round, he has made his comment, he is ready, he has discussed with the GM, and the GM says, okay, you can go ahead, raise a purchase invoice. Yes, we are good to go with him and all that. So he needs to click on mark for purchase invoice. Now, this mark for purchase invoice is important because this is the document is going to attach to the purchase invoice. This is the document is going to attach to the purchase invoice. So just a mark for purchase invoice. You understand? You can see the status that market review completed. So it is more like this document is completed at this level. But remember, it is still supposed to create a purchase invoice. So, but I'll stop this process here. I just wanted to explain to you the need requests on this aspect of activities. So we are going to do another video that will pick from here to the purchase invoice, and also the collation of a purchase invoice that is done. So we're going to see another video for that. You can watch another video for that. But for this video, for this session, what we are just looking at is the other aspects of the need request. So all I just need to do, okay, we don't need to close it at this point. So when you close at this point, it's not going to be available for purchase invoice. So you just leave it. So not everybody should have request close there, because they won't be able to pick if somebody go and close that. So close means you are done with the document. You are not making use of that document again. That's what it simply means. So now I'm going to do another. Let's do another one. Let me just duplicate this, for instance. So this time around, what I'm selecting, I'm still selecting note, but this time around I'm selecting major procurement. This time around I'm selecting projects. Then let's say Ajaokuta, for instance, here. So it's the same thing. The only difference is that the first one went straight to the GM admin for approval. This is going to go to the GM admin, GM project. This is going to go to GM project before it then goes to GM admin for approval. So like I told you, you just use this to raise a request. So I just do save, then move the document to say procurement request. So he has raised the document and is awaiting GM project approval. So GM project picks it up to say approve. So when he approves it, it goes to the GM admin for approval as well. So that's just all. Then the process continues like that. Approve for procurement. Then the procurement guy picks it up to initiate market review. Market review in progress. Then he needs to mark it for purchase invoice. You understand? So this is just a simple process relating to payment voucher, relating to need request that does not involve payment voucher. Situations could also occur whereby whatever transaction you are doing is also payment voucher. But if you are using this, for instance, at this point, so let's say we are trying to segregate the duty of the what's it called, requester from that of payment voucher. So they will raise it, then the payment voucher can actually pick it from there. But it means that they have to start taking the document to them or that. So because it will need the document number. So let's say I pick this now and I go to payment voucher. If I'm the cashier that is involved in payment voucher, I'll just come here, payment voucher. I'll come to my payment voucher. If I say add new, then if I come here, to say need request, you will see this is supposed to drop all need request here, but this will not drop it because there are some parameters here that we have not defined because we did not define it for payment voucher. But that same document can actually be used there as well, so that it lists out all the document there and you can actually pick it. You can actually pick it and just complete your payment voucher there. So that's another way of doing it. But we have said that you are not using, if it is going to be payment voucher, you need to select the payment voucher directly. So it's your need request. If it is for payment voucher, your need request, you have to select payment voucher because you need to supply the amount on this field so that the what's it called, the cashier or the financial controller or the accountant will have little thing to do on the document. So it is this document that will generate a payment voucher for them, so that the finance guy will just have little things to pick. So you can, all this have been able to explain in the first video because that was based on payment voucher. Why this one is based on non-payment voucher, this is more like a memo. You understand? So that is what. So this brings me to the end of this video. So like I have said, this is the concluding part of the need request. Now there will be another video that will be in reference to this need request that we have done. So thank you and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.